How's it going? I'm here in a different location to normal today. I'm down in the south of Cornwall in one of the few remaining temperate rainforest habitats that we have in England. And I've come here hoping to find a few different species to what I'd normally find. Now, this habitat is very humid and very wet. There's moss and ferns everywhere. So it is the perfect habitat for some different species. And already in my hand here, I've found this gorgeous young Lilac Fibrecap growing on this little piece of wood. Now, this is a species you can find in most places, but I never normally have luck finding these, so it's quite nice to finally find one. So I'm going to try and find a way of placing this gently so that I can take a photo of it, using some of this darker area here as the backdrop so that I can get that purple to really pop. You can see there I've managed to sort of wedge it into the ground a little bit so that I can get a nice angle underneath, try and get some of that purple against the dark colour of the mud. So let's get the camera in place and see what composition I can find. Okay, I found this quite nice portrait composition here. So I'll take this quickly. Just let the stack run until the subject's fully in and out of focus again. Perfect. Now I think I'll find a quick portrait composition as well. Try and get nice and close up with it. Pick up some of that extra detail. Oh, that's looking quite nice there. Now, just next to me here is something very different, something that you don't really find in this country, and that is orange pore fungus. Now, this is actually not a native species, so it's not really something you want to find, but there's a lot of it along the south coast like this. It's originally from Madagascar, and it's believed to have come here from the wood trade a long time ago. But interestingly, there's a lot of it here, and it all seems to be growing on another invasive species, which is rhododendrons. So it's not really harming the native environment if it's only growing on invasive plants. Now, these and all this behind me is a little bit too awkward, too high and too precarious of a spot to take a nice photo of it. So I'm going to scavenge around the floor a bit, see if I can find any of it growing on some loose sticks instead. That way I can just set it up on the ground using my mini tripod and get a much more comfortable position to take the photo. Now, after quite a bit of sort of fiddling around with it, I've managed to sort of balance the stick on another stick to elevate it a bit, which has given me this composition that I'm pretty happy with. So I'll take this photo quickly. You can see all the detail in the pores of it. It's really quite a unique looking species. Perfect. Now, just at this very scenic little location here, this sort of babbling brook coming through the middle of the forest. I've found this. You can get the focus on it. It's a perfect cluster of marasmus twig parachutes there, growing on a little stick. So because of where it is, there's no chance I can take a photo, but it is just a loose stick, so I'm thinking I'll be able to just grab it. I should be able to just take this, like so. You can see that there. It's going to make for a perfect photo or two. So I just have to find somewhere to balance this so I can actually set the camera up. I've decided I'm going to use this little bit of sort of more flat land here to try and find a way to prop this up and take the photo. It's just a little bit safer than trying to balance on the edge of the stream or on one of the steep drops here. So first I need to find a way of balancing it to get the composition that I'm after, which is ideally something sort of like that, or perhaps that way. I'll figure out a way of doing that. Using this little bit of a mound in the dirt here and a heavy stick to weigh it down, I've managed to get it propped up in the way I want. So now we'll try and get a photo or two. I think I'll start with landscape composition. Now this landscape composition that I found here is looking pretty nice, so I'll take that. Now, I don't think I'll bother with the portrait composition of this one, as it's very much a wide frame. The width of the group of mushrooms is much greater than the height, so portrait just won't make much sense. I'm not sure if there's another composition or two to be made. Potentially if I prop it up vertically like that, that could be a nice portrait composition from straight underneath the gills. So I'll see if I can make that work quickly. And there we go, that's exactly the composition I was hoping for there. Now in truth I could also rotate this and say it's a landscape composition, it can go either way. That's perfect. I'm still in the same location. Noticed a few more little mushrooms growing here, some little sulphur tufts there. Some nice little mycena buried under a fern down there. Right, some much larger sulphur tufts up here as well. Look at those, perfect examples. Now, I don't know if I'll be able to get a photo of any of these. I probably won't really bother trying. They're just so deep in the overgrowth that I've got nowhere to put the camera. So we'll move on, see what else I can find. Now you can't really tell through the camera, but the weather is starting to turn for the worse. The rain's getting worse, the humidity is getting quite hard to deal with. So I'm not sure how much longer I can go here before I have to turn around and call it a day. But I'll probably be back for a second attempt, so if this video doesn't turn out long enough, it'll all be one video, or else it'll be two separate videos. Hopefully I can find something different the next time I'm around here. Now just walking through this little narrow path here, I've noticed a huge cluster of sulphur tufts growing on this really mossy tree stump. The main cluster I don't think is really going to make for a nice photo, but there's a little group of three under this fern here that are perfect. And because it's so dark, I'll be able to take a UV torch and really shine them up and show that glow. Which, if you've not seen my previous videos, these mushrooms fluoresce a really vivid green colour under UV light. So I'll find a nice composition of them on their own, get a photo or two, and then I'll shine UV at them and get a nice photo of that glow. Now, actually finding the composition is a little bit of a challenge because they're so close to this path and there's so little room available. Now there's a couple of sticks in the background I'm not really liking, so I might try and gently remove them, take the photo again, and then I'll try it with the UV. Yeah, that's looking a lot better. Just one little dangling bit of dead fern. There we go. That's that gone. That's a much cleaner scene now. So I'll take it again with natural light. I'll take the UV torch. I'll just hold it here. Perfect. Just having a quick look in the leaf litter around here before I walk off, just in case there's any more little mushrooms hiding in here. I found one there. Tiny little marasmius growing on this holly leaf, which I'm wondering whether it might actually be a holly parachute, which is this really gorgeous tiny mushroom that has almost spines covering the cap. Although this one doesn't appear to have spines, it might be an aged one. So I'm going to have a little look in case there's any more, just in case I am right and it is that rather special mushroom. Now there are more growing on this, another holly leaf, but again I'm not really seeing any sign of spines, so it might be a different species. Either way, I'll snap a couple of photos of both of them, see what comes out nice. And I think I'll just rest them on the path here and just get the camera really nice and low. I'll start off with this one on its own. Remove these little pine needles that are stuck to the leaf. Now I'm seeing it up close, it definitely is a holly parachute. It's just a little bit aged, so the spines aren't really looking too good, too clear anymore. But hopefully it'll still come out in the photo, so you'll be able to see what I'm talking about. I just want to try and find a slightly better composition than the one I just took. And take a little bit of a stick here, get the angle a bit nicer. That's looking quite nice, it's a real dark and moody shot. I'll place this first one back. I found it. And now I can't remember where I put the other one. I've just found another, much smaller than the others. I'm hoping because it's so tiny the spikes will be quite visible still. So let's try and get it in a nice position for a photo. Yes, the spikes are looking so much nicer on this one. I'll take this shot quickly. Now I can't actually get as close as I'd like because it's so small. So I'm going to have to check if I've brought my teleconverter with me, which will allow me to get even closer. Hopefully I have, because I'd love to get a really close-up detailed shot of this, as I've never found one before. I've been after them for years. So the shot I've just taken is at full magnification on the 90mm. So it's already at 2:1 or 4:1 full frame equivalent, and it's not even close to filling the frame. This thing is just so small. Now luckily, I have brought a teleconverter with me. It's a 2x teleconverter, so I'll be able to double the magnification. It should allow me to get really close. I should get the photo that I've been after for a very long time. So I'll just carefully clip this on. I hate doing this out in the field, especially in a place this humid. I have to be so quick. But there we go. The real challenge is just finding the frame at this magnification and getting this tripod to stay how I want it, because it's so small and such high magnification. I'm having to shoot this at 2-second exposure. I don't know if I'll be able to pull this off, as the wind's picking up a little bit. Now we're at the final few frames. I think I've just about made it. The rain's picking up even more. Conditions are getting much harder. But I think I've just about pulled this off, which is perfect. This is a shot I've been wanting for so long. I think I'm about ready to call it a day now. The wind's picking up, the rain's getting heavier, and we are forecast some storms here, so I should probably get out the forest before that starts. I do want to take one last photo before I leave. So there's this gorgeous porcelain mushroom cluster here. Now it's too far back because of all this shrubs here. It's too far back to use the 90mm. What I might do is use this camera, the OM5 that I'm currently filming on, and the 40 to 150mm lens. And as you just saw then, at full zoom, it's a really beautiful composition of that mushroom. So I'll set it up on the tripod, do a quick focus stack, see how that turns out. And after that, I do have a few more photos that I took yesterday when I wasn't filming of a larger one of those porcelain mushrooms, a few more of those orange pore fungus as well. I'll stick them in at the end of the video, just so you've got a few more photos to see. And then we're done, so don't forget to leave a like, comment, subscribe. I'm planning on coming back here to film a second video if I can, as I'm here all week, so this is only Monday that I'm filming this. I should have time for another one. And other than that, I'll see you next week.